Welcome to another Wichita Toy Train Club Lionel product review. I'm Zachariah. Behind the camera we have Chris, and today we're going to take a look at the new Lionel-9. Before we go in depth on Lionel's rendition of the -9, a little bit of history. The -9 is actually its nickname. The full name for this locomotive is a C44-9W, and just like its predecessor, the -7's got the nickname of the -9. The -9s had a 4,400 horsepower rating on them with a 16-cylinder prime mover. The -9s were debuted in 1993 by GE Transportation and were replaced by the GE ES44 DCs in 2005 with the new EPA emission regulations. So now let's go over a few features with Lionel's most recent rendition of the -9. This version of the -9 was cataloged in Lionel's 2018 Volume 2 catalog. These started shipping in late September of 2019. These locomotives are full legacy, so you have all the usual features you would expect in a new legacy locomotive with the legacy rail sounds, two dual vertically mounted motors in the locomotive, 4 traction tires, electric couplers, fan-driven spoke unit, and all LED lighting. So in the 2018 Volume 2 catalog, Lionel did a lot of different paint jobs with the -9s, and one of them being the Southern Pacific -9s with UP patches on them. And the reason for these is Union Pacific, when they merged with Southern Pacific in 1996, they didn't want to have to go through the gigantic expense of repainting Southern Pacific's entire fleet of diesel electric locomotives. I mean, it would take probably at least a week to, or probably more, to repaint an entire locomotive, and the cost would be astronomical. So to not spend all their money all at once, Union Pacific started putting patches on the SP locomotives, such as the yellow patch we see here and the Union Pacific up front, and that way they had them marked as UP locomotives. Let's go in for a closer look. Now looking at the front of the locomotive here, right up front we have our big O-gauge electric coupler that can be fired from our Legacy or TMCC remote. We also have this nice separately applied snow plow on the front pilot. Looks very nice here. On the far side over here we can see we have some separately applied MU hoses. There is supposed to be another set of MU hoses on this side. They were broke off in the box when we got this locomotive. Probably shipping damage, not a huge deal, we just glue them back on. We just haven't done that yet. Moving up, we have a couple of ditch lights up here that are operational. Nice white stripe across the front here. Our front of the pilot has safety tread all across the walkway. Got this nice little separately applied chain here. All the paint job up front here looks very nice. All kinds of separately applied grab irons and so forth. We have our operating headlight up here. The nice crisp UP logo patch on the front of the locomotive. And moving up, some more grab irons, sand fill caps, and nice looking windshield wipers on the front windshields, along with our operational number boards. Moving down the side of the cab here, we can see the side of our pilot here with our nice white stripes on all of our steps. There's no safety tread on the steps, but it still looks real nice. We have this nice crisp paint from the Southern Pacific paint job. Looks real nice. There is a little blemish right there, but that's probably just us handling this locomotive. We have a legible GE's builder's plate right here. Moving on, we have all kinds of molded in details for storage boxes and so forth. And right up here we have the nice crisp UP patch. Most likely, I imagine the reason why they used a yellow is that's the paint they had and the stencils they had, so I imagine that's how all that went. We have nice separately applied windows inside here, and with our painted crew figures and a nice little silver around them. Moving down, we can see the tops of our trucks. I believe this is probably most likely an older tooling. The trucks are a decent amount of detail on them, but you can tell everything's cast in on them. I think it's just some older tooling Lionel's had, and they're reusing it here, but it still looks very nice. Real quick here, we flip the engine around. And as we can see on this side of the locomotive, we do have an extra little splurge of armor yellow paint. This is probably something to represent Union Pacific. They probably did some work when they brought this engine in to the shop and stuff. They probably did some work. This might have been like a rusted up vent or something. So to help protect it, they probably went ahead and painted it with the paint they had, which was armor yellow. So really cool. Moving down the side of our locomotive here, we can see our nice big Southern Pacific logo on the middle of the engine here. Looks very nice. We have all kinds of warning labels, legible warning labels, all down the side here, top, all kinds of other things over here, which all look very nice. They're all legible with a magnifying glass. I wouldn't try to strain your eyes and read them without one if you really want to. Our walkway here is got safety tread all the way up and down with our nice little white stripes here on our steps to mark those. Looks very nice. A nice crisp white stripe going down the side here. We have a die-cast metal cast-in fuel tank. Little separately painted details over here. And again, looking on the top of the locomotive now, up here by the cab, we can see we have all kinds of little molded in stuff up here. Some different pieces up here. I imagine they're antennas and grab irons and so forth. We have some legible warning labels and stuff, information on these hatches here, which looks really nice. There are a few metal lift rings on the top here, which look nice. This has a nice little contour to the sheet metal on top here, and all kinds of other molded in little details. Moving back, we have our separately applied horn here, which looks very nice. We have a little bit different variation in the paint here, some more molded in details and so forth. And back here we have our exhaust vent for the locomotive, and right underneath that is a fan-driven smoke unit. And to add smoke fluid to it, we can actually go ahead and pull this out. It might get a little stiff first time, but we pull that grate out of the way and pour smoke fluid directly down the stack there. Back over here to our horn area, this piece does pop off just like that, and underneath of it we have 3 magnets that correspond. You can put it on backwards, but it won't stay in place. So that way you can always put it back and it stays on unless you want it to come off. Right in here we can see we have our master volume pot for the engine sounds, our run program switch, and our smoke on off switch. Now here at the rear of the locomotive, we can see our radiator vent area. We don't see any fans or anything elaborate back here, but there's plenty of molded in stuff on the top here. And these grate here are actually separately applied, so they look very nice, and a very nice looking paint job here. Looking at the rear end of our locomotive here, right up top we have a nice looking sand fill cap up here. Moving down we have our operational backup light, our 2 illuminated number boards back here, which look very nice. We have a nice crisp red paint job back here. Almost looks orange in the camera maybe, but it is red, a reddish color. We have our nice looking handrails and grab irons and so forth back here. Some molded in details down here. Our safety tread. Again, no safety tread on our pilot, but we do have those nice white stripes there marking our steps. We have this little deck plate here. This does not fold up, it's just always down. Like I said, I think this is a little bit older tooling, so that's probably why that is. We have our electrocoupler, which can be fired from the Legacy or TMCC remote, and our 2 sets of separately applied MU hoses. Now we have the locomotive flipped over here. We can see everything on the bottom side. Starting back here on our rear truck, we have 2 powered axles and 1 free rolling axle here. And as I always say, always put a little bit of oil where that metal axle goes through the side of the metal frame. Always helps down on squeaking, so a little bit everywhere there. And then our center rail pickup rollers, a little bit of oil there is always very good and helps keep down squeaks and so forth. This inside axle here has 2 rubber traction tires to enhance our pulling capabilities, and as we can see we have some open gears here. These look a little dry, but anytime you they look a little dry, just a little bit of grease is all it takes, and those keeps all those gears nice and lubed up. Moving forward here, we have the FCC labeling for the Bluetooth capabilities. I don't think we've mentioned that yet. This locomotive is equipped with Bluetooth, so it is a newer legacy engine with Bluetooth in it, which is very nice. We have two speakers for the sound system, our IR sensor for the LCS center track, and moving forward we have our front truck here, which looks just the same as our rear truck with 2 traction tires on the inner axle, and everything with the front axle you do back here. The gears look a little dry, just a little dab of grease takes care of those, and oil anywhere where a metal axle goes through the metal frame keeps down on wear and tear. And then with our center rail pickup rollers. Then also back here, we'll throw up a picture. Right back here there is the legacy serial number for the locomotive, which has been a very nice added touch. Lionel's been adding to all the legacy locomotives of recent. Alright, we got the engine back on the track power on. As you can see, our number boards are the only thing illuminated. So we'll go ahead and fire it up. First off, real quick, I want to go ahead and mention, as with most of you probably already know, but I'm going to mention again anyway. The newer legacy engines do not come with a memory module to preload all the information into the legacy system. So you have to do that manually or with the LCS center track. Obviously, the easiest way is with the LCS center track. It's not too difficult to enter it manually in through the remote. Lionel's got a video out on that, so be sure to check that out if you have any questions on that. So let's go ahead and listen to some of the sounds.
This is the dispatcher. Do you copy? Copy that. Read you fine. Over. Hold for track orders. Over. Roger that. Holding for your signal. Out.
Alright, we got that fired up. Let's go ahead and listen to the horn. Bell. And now let's take a listen to the most authentic rail sounds ever, crew talk wise.
Dispatcher, train's buckled together. Can I get a go? Over. Negative. One inbound against you. Hold for the signal. I got you, dispatcher. Out. This is the operator. You're clear to proceed east. Over. Very good. Thank you, sir. We're good to go. Out.
Alright, now with the legacy locomotives, you get 8 different idle engine RPM levels, so we'll go ahead and go through that. Right now we're at idle, and we'll go on up to notch 8. Alright, we're on the roof. Let's bring her back down. Alright, now we're back down here at an idle. We got our train hooked up and ready to roll out, so we'll go ahead and fill it up with fuel and take it for a spin around the layout.
Fill her up! My fuel's full. Over. Copy that. Out. This is the operator. Please hold at your location. Over. Got your signal, dispatcher. I'll let you know when we're rolling. Over. Roger that. Out. This is the operator. You are cleared to depart on your cab signal indication. Over. Roger that. We got your signal. Out. We're underway, dispatcher. Over. Affirmative. Have a good run. Dispatcher, how's my track look? We still clear ahead? Over. Clear to the next block at track speed. Over. Thank you, sir. Clear track ahead. Out. Dispatcher, how's my track look? We still clear ahead? Over. Clear to the next block at track speed. Over. Thank you, sir. Clear track ahead. Dispatcher, are we clear to the next block? Over. come to a full stop. I'll let you know when we're moving. Out. Going off duty, dispatcher. Out.
So we've taken the locomotive for a spin around the layout here, and it looks and sounds great. This engine we actually received in September of 2019, and within the first 12 hours we fried the living crap out of it. We went back to Lionel, got completely rewired, I think a bunch of new boards and everything. So, but we got a hold of them, they took care of us very well, so we probably might have overfilled the spoke fluid. I'm not exactly sure what happened. But anyway, it's back now, runs great, sounds great. The only thing we did run into, running it on this particular layout, when we went backwards, the rear roller of the rear truck would smash up against the top of the truck. And this was with Atlas track. So I wrapped a little bit of tape around that to kind of help isolate that. And after I did that, we didn't have any other issues. So that's just something to know if you guys ever run into that with these new Dash 9s. Chris, you have anything else to add?
Other than how great looking this engine is, to me personally, the sound system plays a large key role in the engine and just how it sounds. So my favorite part about this locomotive is the horn. I could blast the horn all day. But like I said, that plays a huge role personally in my opinion.
Yes, yeah, it's a great sounding horn. The Legacy system does a great job sound and control wise with this locomotive. As I mentioned before, this locomotive was cataloged in Lionel's 2018 Volume 2 catalog. The MSRP on this locomotive is right at $550. If you go through any good Lionel dealer that still has one, you probably get a little bit of a discount on that retail price. This particular version had about 3 different road numbers. You had options for the Southern Pacific with the UP patch, one of which being a non-powered version right at $300 MSRP price. I'm not sure if that has lights or anything in it. Usually those cheaper non-powereds don't have a lot of stuff added to them. So you might have to double check with your dealer or with the Lionel website to be sure on that. And then along with this, there was a number of other road names offered. So you have all kinds of different flavors. I think there was a few oddball road names they threw in there, like an Australian railroad, some really cool paint schemes. So be sure to check that out. This concludes our review of the Lionel UP Patch Dash 9, number 9615. Be sure to go down and like this video if you thought it was very helpful, and leave us a comment if you have any questions or anything you like about this locomotive. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and be sure to hit that bell. That way you get all the notifications of our product reviews and running train videos. Also, don't forget to check out Facebook so you get all of our notifications of our open hours here in Wichita, Kansas, and any upcoming train shows. Thanks for watching.